Let's talk about directory saving and exporting. In Ableton, you can find anything you need right here in this left part of Ableton where the browser is. You can, of course, remove that browser as such, but in this browser, you find everything that's installed with Ableton, any additional packs you might have added to it, and you can find your own user library and your own user content, like samples that you can add right here. But let's start from the beginning. In here, you have the categories of everything you can see in the browser. So let's say we have sounds. We can choose, let's say, bass, and then choose a preset. Of course, as you've seen, I can preview that preset, any preset for the matter, and I can import that preset just by dragging it in. Drop files and devices here. So if I drag it in, that's it. I get that preset right there. It's a MIDI instrument, actually, with the preset of aggressive bass, and I can play it. So we have a lot of sounds that come with Ableton, and they are all in this sounds category. You can find them all here. They are all sorted nicely. You can also see all of the drums that you have, and some of these that you see right here are also additional packs that I downloaded from Ableton's website. Some of them are free, some of them are paid for. You can also see all of the instruments, and inside these instruments, as you see, these are different instruments from Ableton, so those are the built-in ones, and each one of those has presets for itself, also divided in categories that you can also just drag and drop inside. So I can drag and drop this instrument, and it's going to load with a default preset, or I can drag and drop, let me just delete this, or I can drag and drop that same instrument but with a preset already attached to it. This is just the instrument with a preset in it. You see the icon is not divided. If I have an icon like this and I load that, you see that's going to be a rack. So it's going to be that same instrument, of course, with a preset inside, but it's going to have some processing attached as well. And as you see, most probably it's going to have some macros assigned to the controls of the instrument. So once you see an icon that's divided like this, it means it's an instrument and a preset for it that contains some more processing, and it's actually contained within a rack like this. Okay, so now that we've seen those, we have audio effects, and these are the built-in audio effects for Ableton. You can see all of the different effects you have, and for each one of the effects, you can just drag it and drop it on a track. You can, of course, open it up and see all of the presets for it. You can drag and drop a preset just as well to get the instrument loaded with the preset attached to it. We have all of the MIDI effects that come with Ableton, arpeggiators, chords. So all of these, they also contain presets. We have Max for Live effects, instruments, and MIDI effects. You can see those right here. And we have plugins. These are our VST plugins. We already talked about these. Now we have all of the clips. These are the clips that come with Ableton, meaning that these are actually either a WAV file clip or an actual instrument or a sampler with it, but it actually contains a clip of a sound with it, meaning that if I load that inside here, I do get a clip, if you can see that. So it's not just a preset for the instrument, it's also some notes that are going to be played with it. So it's some MIDI information together with it to already play it. So if I solo that and play it, so I already have that inside. Now, amongst all of these clips, there are so many different variations of drums, sounds, and same as well, we have samples. So these are all the samples contained within our Ableton library. There is a lot of these. So these are all the samples that are contained in all of these drum kits and sounds and clips and everything, but you have them as samples as well. So you can browse through an enormous library of everything you have installed with Ableton. You see more than 10,000. How many? 20,420 sounds altogether. So we can browse through these presets. Now, what you have seen so far is that every time I click something, I can actually preview it right here, down here. And if these headphones, this little button, blue button with headphones, if that's on, it's going to be previewed immediately as I click it. And it's going to be, of course, previewed in a loop. But the volume of that preview is determined right here. So right here on the master track, we have this blue fader, and that blue fader actually decides the volume of the previews that we hear in the browser right there. So if I click it and the blue button with the headphones, the preview button, is not on, it will not preview the sample automatically. I would have to click it. But if it's clicked on, it's going to preview everything I click. Simple as that. Now in places, because these are all the categories from our library, now in places we have all the packs that are installed with Ableton. So beat tools, and inside those we got drums, effect racks, MIDI clips, everything contained within that beat tools pack that we installed. Connection kit core library is actually installed with Ableton as soon as you install it. As you see, we have the drum machines, we have the grand piano, retro synths. If you purchase Ableton's suite, you get many more of these. I just installed the ones that I thought would be useful for me. Doesn't mean that you can't try all of them out. Now in the user library, you have everything that you create. So we will talk about saving all of these, but you can make a preset of your own and just save it into your user library. So saving an entire channel or saving a preset off of a synthesizer, you can actually save your own and put it right there and grow your own library of presets, synthesizers, drum machines. And this is very useful. You can, of course, make categories for yourself. It's a normal directory structure. It's really easy to maintain, and it's really easy to back up this user library. As you have seen in our DAW settings lesson, you can back up that whole folder where all of your user library is. Usually I keep it on a cloud, and that way I never lose it. So every time I add any presets, it's also added to that cloud folder, any cloud service like, I don't know, Google Drive, Dropbox, you name it, and you can keep it there. So if your system fails or you go somewhere else, you can always download your user library into somebody else's Ableton and just have everything you ever made created for yourself. And it's really useful to have stuff like that, so you can make your music faster. There are certain things that you really like to use, or certain things that you create and like to reuse, of course. And reusing and recycling is really good. Especially in electronic music, it's really useful. So you can keep this for yourself and have it always backed up. Believe me, it's a really good thing to have everything always backed up. Now, in the current project, this is where your current project is, the one that we have opened right here. It's showing me that current projects folder and all of the projects that we have inside of that. So these are all the projects that I had. These are the current project that I have open, all the earlier versions, everything I worked for, and also I have all the samples that are inside of this project at the moment. So you can browse through everything that is inside of this open song right here. And it's all right there on this side. So you don't have to search for it. Every time you're inside any project, you can just click the current project and it will be shown for you. Now, the last thing you can see in this places part of the browser is actually samples, packs, and mastering. These are all my folders, so I added those. Those are mine. My places on my hard drive where I keep stuff. So you can just click this add folder line right there and just choose a folder you want to add. So I'm going to choose a folder from this PC, and I'm going to go into, let's say, samples. Choose a cappella folder, click it, and it's going to be added right there. And scanned, of course, for everything that's inside of it. So, the browser, you have different categories for everything built in inside Ableton, all of the packs that are in there, your user library, your current project, all of the folders you added yourself, and you can expand that list, of course, and you have the preview line right here that you can activate, and anything you click will just be played automatically. Now you can save elements of your project into your user library, as I've said. So let's unfreeze this channel so I can show you that. So let's say I have this instrument track, and this instrument track inside of it, where I have the massive as a synthesizer and an EQ on it. So this track, I can save that as an instrument of my own. Let's hear that instrument and see what we're going to be saving. So I can name that and save it as an instrument that I can use later. And this is going to be saved as an entire rack where I have this fader also mapped to the macro. So I can click save, and it's going to be saving that. Let's see where that is. So it's going to be in the presets, instruments, and instrument rack. Of course, I can save it somewhere else if I wanted to. Now I'm going to quit that, close this. And this is the default place, of course, because that's where the presets should be, you know, like instruments, instrument rack. That's what this is. It's an instrument rack. So these are all my user instrument tracks. But it doesn't mean I have to save it there. I can save it anywhere I want. I can save it to the root of this folder just by dragging it right there, right inside. Click and give it a name. Let's say nice chord. And let's say massive, so I know what synthesizer it is. Click enter, and it's saved. Bam. That's it. That's how easy it is to save something out of your project into your user library. You can save your entire project, and we should do that right now. I'm going to exit full screen, and I'm going to show you how to do that. So clicking File, clicking Save Live Set, and you save your set. You save your song. Of course, the shortcut for that is Control S. So saving your set, real easy. Go there, click Save, and it's saved. If your set was new and it was never saved before, you would get a dialog that would ask you where you want to save your set. It would look like this. So where do you want to save it? And you would choose a folder on your hard drive, click Save, and that would be done. So saving your set is real easy. Now, exporting your song is something quite different. So let's unsolo this. This is a song we have. Let me play it and make sure it's not too loud. So let's say I wanted to save this song in its entirety, but as one sound. So once you're done with composing your song and you wanted to have it as a sound file that you could send to somebody to hear, or play it in a club, or write it onto a CD to send it to a record label, this is what you would do. So you would export this as an audio file. So export audio, click File, Export Audio, and the shortcut is Control-Shift-R. Once you click that, you get this dialog where you can choose what you want to export. I want to export my master track. This is what I'm hearing right now when I press play. So I hear all these tracks routed to the master, my entire mix. So I'm choosing the actual file format I'm exporting. And once that all is done, I just click Export, and it's being exported. But where? So it asks me where I want to export this song. So I can choose, let's say, desktop, and say export with this name. I can choose the name for it, say demo1, save, and just wait for the song to be exported in its entirety. And now when you see this is done, now I have my song as a WAV file on my desktop that I can actually send to somebody, or convert to MP3, or burn it on a CD to play it, put it in my USB, put it in my phone to listen to it. So this is how I export my song so that I actually hear it as a song. This is how we get our end product.